काफी प्रेरणादायक होगा और बच्चों में बहुत उत्साह क्रिएट होगा। अमित जी, हमारे स्कूल का मुख्य स्लोगन जो है वो ये है कि हर बच्चे में प्रतिभा होती है और हमारा प्रयास है उस प्रतिभा को निखारने का। ये आपकी अगर जीवन यात्रा को अगर देखें तो इससे बड़े सटीक और सार्थक उदाहरण हमको आज देखने को मिलेगा कि कैसे आपके जीवन में शाही बच्चे से लेके और एकदम सोसाइटल थॉट को लेके आज ब्रेवरी अवार्ड में जिस आदमी को पहुंचा दिया, तो कितना ड्रास्टिक चेंज लाइफ में आदमी को ला सकता है, ये एक आपका बहुत ज्वलंत उदाहरण आज हमारे बच्चों को देखने को मिलेगा। बच्चे में एक प्रतिभा होती है, बट उसको जागृत करने के लिए ना गॉड फादर की जरूरत होती है। तो गॉड फादर कैन बी टीचर, गॉड फादर कैन बी माता पिता, गॉड फादर कैन बी दोस्त, लेकिन कभी कभी आप अपने आप में भी गॉड फादर बन सकते हो अपनी प्रतिभा को जागृत करने के लिए। मैं जब सीए करता था और ऑडिट करने जाता था, तो जिस कंपनी में जाता था उसके जो चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव होते थे, मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर, डायरेक्टर या चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव, मैं उनसे टाइम निकाल के उनसे बात करता था और मैं उनसे पूछता था कि भाई आप इस पोजीशन पे पहुंचे तो आपने क्या क्या चीजों का सामना किया, क्या क्या मुसीबतें आपकी जिंदगी में आई जिनको आपने फेस किया और आज इस लेवल पे पहुंचे। तो उनका जो तजुर्बा होता था उससे बहुत सारी चीजें सीखने को मिलती थी। एक आदमी को के लिए इससे बढ़िया उदाहरण नहीं हो सकता है कि आप दूसरों को देख के और उसे उसमें सीखें। जिंदगी की मामूली मामूली घटनाएं जिंदगी के बारे में आपका नजरिया बदल सकती है। हमारे स्कूल की इस उड़ान की श्रृंखला में हमारा यही प्रयास रहता है कि हम ऐसी शख्सियत को बुलाएं अपने यहाँ पे, हमारे बच्चों से मिलाएं, हमारे बच्चों का उत्साह प्रेरित करें और बच्चों को मोटिवेट करें। मैं आपका बहुत हृदय से अमित जी स्वागत करता हूं कि आज आप यहाँ आए और कोरोना के बाद नॉर्मल लाइफ हो जाए और आप फेस टू फेस आ जाएं, तो उसमें जो बच्चों का जोश और उत्साह जो बढ़ेगा उसकी कल्पना तो उसी वक्त करेंगे। मैं चाहता हूं कि जब कभी आपको मौका मिला पाए, दोबारा से आपके आज के इस प्रोग्राम के लिए बहुत बहुत आपका हृदय से स्वागत। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सिंघवी सर। Friends, as we all must have witnessed the real-life heroes of cinema like Singham, Dabang, Khatron Ke Khiladi, and many more. But today, I am elated and honored to present before you a real-life hero, the most exalted and formidable guest speaker of the day, an outstanding IPS officer, Mr. Amit Lodha, who is currently serving as an Inspector General of BSF Rajasthan Frontiers, currently posted in Jodhpur. Sir, we are very proud and excited to have you here with us today. Without further ado, I would invite you to share your epic journey with all of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Singhvi sir. Thank you, Garima. Thanks to all the students of Presidency School for having invited me to talk to all the youngsters, the future of the country. I won't call my journey as an epic one, but definitely it's an interesting one. Because when I was in school, though I was good in a number of things, but I was a very, very shy student, very introverted, and I always lacked confidence. I could write very well in English, but I never muster the courage to go on stage and speak. Whenever my teachers used to put my name in some debating competition or other competitions, I used to absent myself from school. Even in the swimming pool, I used to jump in the waters, but come out after 1 minute. I used to hold the railings, not go towards the deeper part of the swimming pool. So this was my personality in school. And when I went to IIT Delhi, of course, I was ragged very badly for the first 15 days in IIT Delhi. Ragging was very common during those days. And that ragging changed me as a person. Initially, I felt bad, but slowly, when I was forced to do a lot of things, it's changed my personality for better. And then I had friends who initially I thought were very selfish, very self-centered, arrogant. But later on, I realized that they were actually my well-wishers. They used to push me to do things. They were kind of mean to me. during those days, but ultimately they brought out the best in me. Otherwise, I was always dependent, looking after somebody that he will take care of me, he will look after me. So these are the initial things, and uh, in IIT, I did very, very badly because I was never interested in engineering per se. And being good in maths is one thing, having an interest in engineering is another thing. And in IIT, you come to know about your true caliber because the entire country's best comes to that institution. I was very good in my school, but in IIT, you get the creme de la creme of the country. So it was a different ball game altogether. And I had a lot of bad thoughts. I used to feel that I'm really not good enough for IIT. I cannot match up to the standards of IIT's academic excellence. Moreover, in things like sports and other things, even a simple thing like painting competitions, I was very good at sketching. I never used to take part in all that because I had the fear of losing. And even if I took part in some competition like the squash tournament of IIT, I used to lose in the very first round. So my confidence was at an all-time low, and I used to constantly berate myself, think that I'm the unluckiest person in the world. And this kept on going for the 4 years in IIT. My friends started avoiding me because they used to tell कि अमित के पास जब भी जो वो रोता ही रहता है कृप करता रहता है कि मेरे लाइफ में सब कुछ खराब हो रहा है सब कुछ बहुत बेकार हो रहा है एंड दे यूज्ड टू टेल मी कि तू पढ़ता भी नहीं है या तो पढ़ ले तो तेरे नंबर अच्छे आ जाएंगे नहीं पढ़ेगा तो नंबर आएंगे नहीं देन योर रिजल्ट्स आर बैड फिर तू रोता रहता है कि मेरा कितना खराब रिजल्ट्स आ रहे हैं कितनी खराब परफॉर्मेंस हो रही है तो यू हैव टू मेक एन एफर्ट टू गेट अ गुड रिजल्ट तो माय टाइम वाज टेरेबल इन IIT and my friends had given up on me and they used to write letters to me after IIT that in case you need any help ever in your life please do call us we'll be there by your side so after IIT once I came back home initially I was in a very grumpy mood I used to find faults with my relatives my parents fight with everybody कि ये गड़बड़ हो गया वो गड़बड़ हो गया आप लोगों की वजह से हो रहा है but then one day one of my friends who's the owner of a company called policybazaar.com you must have all heard of that he had come to Jaipur to meet me. And my relative, one of my aunties, she was also going through a difficult time in her life. She said, "Beta, life में जो अपन चाहते हैं वो कहाँ होता है? किस्मत में जो लिखा होता है वही होता है." And all these kind of melodramatic, philosophical things she was talking to Yashish. But Yashish immediately said, and he was a very young guy at that time. I was 21, he was 22. He said, "नहीं आंटी, जिंदगी में हम लोग जो चाहते हैं वही होता है." It's a very simple statement, but it had a very profound impact on me. And I just realized that मैं दिन भर रोता रहता हूँ and I keep thinking negatively. So all negative things are happening in my life. If I think positively, let's see if it can make a difference to my life. I know it sounds very easy, what I'm telling you right now, but this is the fact of life. You don't need any guru, any motivational books, any kind of astrologer, palmist. Nobody needs to guide you. You just need to unlock your own potential. So I just thought that I will start applying myself. I'll study diligently, sincerely, efficiently for the UPSC because becoming an IPS officer was always my dream. Let me start working for it in the right spirit. And I has to visualize myself in the uniform of an IPS officer every day. But it was not only daydreaming. I started working hard also. Let go of a lot of my bad habits, stupid habits, which I developed in IIT. Uh, I used to waste my time watching movies, watching cricket matches, 50 over matches. You can imagine the entire day goes by and your academics goes for a six. But once I was in Jaipur, I removed the television from my house, removed the telephone, did a lot of drastic things, but I think those were necessary. And I got selected very early for the UPSC. I was elated. And once I donned the uniform, my personality changed tremendously. I was no longer the shy, introverted person. I became a very confident person, very professional person, did quite well in the state of Bihar in the BSF also, and very proud as a police officer. Very, very proud. So this is my journey, and the interesting thing is, I just want to add a boy who could not speak in front of 5 people in his school or in IIT Delhi is now delivering talks all over the country. I'm getting invitations every day, even in the times of Corona for webinars and other things. and suddenly people look for motivation in my life. I've kind of become a motivational speaker. So I had no intention of becoming a motivational speaker. I do not talk about any spiritual or philosophical things. I do not have any, hi-fi proverbs or any quotations to inspire people. But if my life can make any difference to youngsters, it isn't. It is right in front of you. And this just shows that if you believe in yourself, start thinking positively. It's very important. Even today, when I start my day as an IGO police, I start very positively. As a police officer, you only get bad news, all difficult news, bad news. But I start very positively that this too shall be over and I'll tackle it. We'll face it to the best of our abilities. And the day unfolds exactly as I imagine it to be. Very positive. All the results come before the day finishes. And because of my positive attitude, it's rubbing on to my colleagues, people who work with me, thousands of soldiers. Everybody's in a very positive frame of mind. So this is my story in a nutshell. I think we have a lot of questions. I would love to answer the questions of all the youngsters, all the students here.
But sir, brief on Bihar Diary.
Bihar Diaries, I was
Sir,
always a good
brief on
writer.
Bihar Diary.
Yeah, I was always a good writer in my school. I was the editor of my school magazine, then I also edited the magazines of IIT Delhi. And Chetan Bhagat, incidentally, is my batchmate from IIT Delhi. When he wrote 5 Point Someone, I'll be very honest with you, I became quite jealous of him because I thought, Arey, Chetan is my friend, my batchmate. He's written such a blockbuster, a fantastic book. And I also had good skills. I could have written a book myself. So I just kept thinking about it. Someday I'll write about it. Then this incident in which I arrested a very dreaded criminal of Bihar, it got highlighted all over Bihar. A high court judge invited me for dinner to his house and asked me how did I arrest this person. So I narrated the entire chain of sequence. He said, Amit, this is tailor-made for a Bollywood film. It's an ideal script for Bollywood. So I just thought that maybe I'll give my script to some Bollywood director. And I was lucky. I became friends with Akshay. Then my story was loved by Neeraj Pandey. And Twinkle Khanna insisted that I must write a book too. Usually one writes a book and then the rights are bought by the film director or producer. In my case, the film was decided first, and then they asked me to write this book also. And Bihar Diaries is a huge hit. I never imagined it will be such a bestseller. It has been reprinted 4 or 5 times already. And the best part is that Bihar Diaries is inspiring a lot of people to join the Indian Police Service. And I'm happy that it's changing the perspective an average Indian has about the police.
Thank you so much, sir.
Brief narration on the how you could arrest and what kind of
It is
difficulties you
a long
face
story, Singhvi Saab. It
with
is,
this.
I will just tell you that I used all kinds of things. आप कहते हैं ना साम दाम दंड भेद. It's very interesting. And once you see the film or web series, you'll be very delighted. But the criminal, if you Google, he was the biggest don of Nawada of Bihar. And during those days, Bihar was very infamous for massacres. He used to, he killed 5 policemen and escaped from Nawada jail. He killed a sitting MLA. He killed a minister in his house. He was a very dreaded criminal. And his writ ran large in 4 or 5 districts of Bihar. So I was sent by the chief minister of Bihar to arrest this man after he massacred 15 people in a span of 24 hours. So once I reached that area called Sheikhpura, which was the Badlands of Bihar, I realized that I could not arrest him using conventional methods of policing. So I used the technology, mobile technology, and which was very innovative for those years, 2002, 2006, 2007. Not many people knew about IMEI numbers and call details and parallel listening. I used all these things. And of course, people usually say that behind every successful man, there's a woman. In my case, there were 3 women behind my success in this particular case. Of course, the first one was my wife, who stood behind me like a pillar, like a rock. And there were 2 other women. These criminals, they were having extramarital affairs. So whenever they wanted to talk to them, they had to put on their mobile phones. Even if they change their SIM cards, they used to put on their mobile phones.
Yeah.
So I used all these tricks. I used these women as debates to ultimately corner these criminals, and it's a very thrilling story, very thrilling journey. Uh, I would be glad if all of you could read Bihar Diaries. It's still among the top. It's among the bestsellers on Amazon. Could read everywhere, Flipkart, and I'm very glad that it has done so well. I've been invited to deliver talks about Bihar Diaries by the Jaipur Literature Festival, Times Literature Festival, so many organizations. I'm really, really happy with the success of the book, and I've written my second book also. I'm editing the second book right now.
Thank you so much, sir. That was so interesting and inspiring. I can't wait for the excitement to go a notch higher with our interesting question and answer session. To take this forward, I would invite my friend and my co-host, Gangotri Jain, to join us.
Thank you. I warmly wish you all a pleasant evening. Sir, I would wish you a pleasant evening and to all the lovely students and parents who have joined us through Zoom and Facebook Live.
I can't wait any longer to continue our roller coaster ride with a special speaker who is brave, humorous, down to earth, and heroic all at the same time.
Amit sir, you'll be pleased to know that we as a host school have received loads of interesting questions from our students of Presidency School as well as other invited schools across the country.
I do hope that we will be able to take up all these questions in limited time frame. Respected sir, what do you say? Shall we begin with it?
I'm waiting for you to go ahead, please.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Right on then, let's have a first question on the screen. The following question has been put up by Vanshit Gulati of class 10th Presidency School.
My question to you is that what do you say independence mean to you? Not in terms of nationalism or patriotism.
Oh, such an interesting opening question, sir.
Vanshit, for me, independence means the freedom to live your life according to your wishes. And I know it sounds very cliched, but in India, this is my opinion. Most of us, at least till the generation I belong to, have lived somebody else's life. Right from your childhood, people expect that, okay, your neighbor has gone to IIT, you also go to IIT. Your elder brother has gone for medical colleges, you also go to medical college. Your father is a doctor, you follow the same profession. He has got married, you also get married. He's got kids, you also get kids. This is the way we live our life according to somebody else's dictats. This is the fact of life. So for me, freedom is living according to your wishes, speaking freely, thinking freely. In the police, most of us are absolutely yes, man. I'm telling you. If a senior says that this has to be done, even if it is wrong, I'm not talking about unethical things, impractical, or something which is not feasible. Everybody will say, yes, sir, it will be done. Nobody has the guts or courage to say that, sir, this is not right, or we should go ahead with something else. This plan might be better. But this is the way in India, we hardly have any innovation, any ingenuity. And as a senior to you, I would expect all of you youngsters to ask questions, to think freely. Always believe in yourself that you are also right. Just because somebody is born 10 or 15 years earlier than you or has more experience you is not necessarily right. Give him full respect, listen to him, but have your own opinions also. My own son is brilliant in physics and maths, but he was not interested in going to IIT Delhi, not interested in IIT. He's pursuing political science in Delhi University, and he's very happy with it. A lot of my friends ask me, why are you sending your son to Delhi University when you yourself went to IIT? He could have also followed you. But I said, it's his life. Let him live his life. So this is the way it should be. Let people have an independent thinking, be free to express their opinions, and live a life which they actually enjoy. There's no end to all these material conquests. You can have a 5-figure salary, 10-figure salary. I don't know how many figures there are. You can do a lot of things, have, bungalows here and there. But if you pursue your ambitions, your dreams, I see a lot of my friends who were beautiful, lovely, singers, guitarists, sportsmen when they were young. And now when they are middle-aged, they have just forgotten about their passions. They're living a very mundane, very routine life. They might be earning very fat paychecks, but they've also become fat because they're not playing any sport, not exercising. Then what is the point? And when they see me that I'm, happy playing tennis, squash, doing all the things which make me feel happy, young, they feel sad for themselves. But this choice is with you. This lies with you, this choice. So you have to exercise this option, whether you want to just remain a rat in the rat race or you want to live a life also.
Yeah.
Indeed, sir. It was a refined answer to the question, which really demonstrates your true wisdom. Moving on to the next question.
The following question has been put up by Samriddhi Kulshresh from Sanskriti the School, Ajmer.
The question which I want to ask is, what is the one thing which you believe is absolutely essential for a successful life? Thank you.
Well, yes, everyone here is willing to know your success mantra, sir.
I already answered a little part of this question in the first answer also. Believe in yourself. And if you are happy doing what you are doing, that is real success. As I told you, I am a very big tennis fan. Rafael Nadal has got 19 Grand Slams. Roger Federer has got 20 Grand Slams. People always ask him this question: how do you compare yourself with Roger? And do you want to break his record? Rafael Nadal's answer is, he gave a lovely answer that if you always be somebody else who has a better record than you, who will have a bigger house than you, who might be more successful in terms of societal expectations. But I'm happy playing tennis. That is more important for me. For me, success is I can play tennis for as long as possible because this is my passion. This is my life. So for me, success is enjoying what you do. I'm very happy being a police officer. For me, it doesn't remain a job. I just love it. So every moment of my living as a police officer is very fulfilling, very enriching. And apart from that, as I told you, I have a lot of hobbies and I'm constantly trying to better myself. After this webinar is over, I'm going straight to the tennis court. I'm already in my tennis attire. I told Garima that I have to finish by 6:10. I have to go for tennis. So this is the way you live life. Then you are successful. There'll be people who are, much more qualified, much more successful than me. But I'm happy with my life. That is successful. And
Very
how I
nice.
can contribute my best to the society, to the people around me, how I can enrich their life, how can I make them happy. That is also very important of my journey as a successful person.
Thank you. I think there's never been a simpler version and understanding of success. Thank you so much.
Moving
Thank
on
you,
to
sir.
the next question. The following question has been put up by Hunar Agarwal of Maheshwari Public School, Ajmer.
So I want to ask you a question. So how do you deal with your failures?
Sir, please keep your views on how did you deal with your failures.
Sonora, I found him very cute. See, as I told you, when I was young, I used to think very negatively that I failed in this or I will fail in this. Beforehand, before a test, before an exam, before a competition, I used to think that I will do very badly. But later on, I never thought about the results. I just thought about my efforts, my intent. And once you decide, once you believe in yourself, then you can definitely succeed. Failure is just a stepping stone. So many great people have talked about it, that failure is just a stepping stone to success. And I would not say that failure is just an experience where maybe you tried your best but went wrong. There are still many things at which I fail. There are many, many things at which I fail. But I keep trying. I keep trying to better myself. So I don't consider my, any experience as failure nowadays. I just think of it as an experience. It's a life we are all living. There are people who make wonderful movies. People put their heart and soul in that film and it becomes a colossal failure. And after 5 or 10 years, that same film becomes a cult movie. So this is life. You just do your best and, ultimately results do come. I have seen that hard work never fails. It never fails. Sooner or later, you'll get your due. Keep doing it. Never get pessimistic. Never bother about the results. But if your intent is right, your preparation is good, ultimately you're going to get results. Take it from me. I am an example in front of you.
Such an enlightening reply, sir. It's really encouraging. Taking up the next question.
The following question has been put up by Shagun Sharma from Presidency School.
Sir, you are indeed motivational superhero for all of us. So I would like to ask a question to you that is there a need of revamp or to reform the police system? If so, please tell us.
Well, that is an interesting question.
Tricky
She
one,
looks-
rather. It's a tricky one.
No, not at all. She looks to me like a future bureaucrat. Very good question. And of course, the Indian police system requires a lot of reforms, not small, but a lot of reforms. Our police to public ratio is among the lowest in the entire world. You know, very, very small ratio, hardly any policemen for such a huge population. And we are very understaffed, under-resourced. And the public, the government, everybody has got great expectations on the police. So we do need a lot of reforms, and there have been a lot of committees, a lot of learned people who have put up their proposals to the government. It is not for me to comment on that, but I'm very hopeful that one day all these reforms will come to fruition. But till then, I would expect all the people of this country, particularly the youngsters who are going to the future of this country, that you do your best to help the police. And how can you do that? You become conscientious citizens, pay your taxes on time, keep the country clean, follow traffic rules, follow the rules of the country, do all these small things, respect women. Half of the problems of this country will vanish. And be citizen police. The way they do it in Singapore, every citizen behaves like a policeman in Singapore. That somebody is doing something wrong, that citizen will go and stop him. If you're breaking the queue, a citizen of Singapore will come forward and tell him, Mister, you're not doing this right. So whenever you see somebody throwing litter on the road, please have the courage to tell him that, sir, you're not doing the right thing. Somebody crosses the traffic light, please tell him that this was not right. You should not be proud of it. If somebody leaves the room, ask him to switch off the lights before that. Very small things. We talk about very big reforms, but all these reforms, changes, they come with small things. And for that, we need to change our attitudes. Many times I think that why don't we also address our citizens as sir or ma'am, the way they do in the Western world. You go to London, every policeman will call you, sir, can I help you, ma'am, can I help you? But this is not possible in India right now. Why? Because first, the citizens of India also need to evolve. They need to be responsible. They need to grow up. When they start behaving responsibly, obviously, they will also deserve the respect they want. So this is my simple answer for that. And about the reforms in the police system, of course, the government will do a lot of things in the coming years.
So we would definitely imply your suggestions into our lives with complete honesty. There couldn't have been a better answer. Can we have the next question, please?
The following question has been put up by Nikhil Joshi from Sri Pragya Public School, Vijayanagar.
My question is why public respect military officers but not IPS or police officers? What was the reason behind this?
It is a very intriguing question, sir.
This is not true because I think the entire country knows officers like Kiran Bedi, Julio Ribeiro, KPS Gill. If it was not, if it was true, nobody would have bothered about these IPS officers. These are legendary IPS officers. And see, the problem with police is that it has to deal with the public. The army, with due respect to the army, does not deal with the public. Their charter of duty is very clear. That is to defend the nation against any aggression. And they're free to shoot, fire, kill, destroy that enemy. But in the police, you have to balance out a lot of things. You wear a very, very difficult crown. And police, being the most visible arm of the state, has to balance out a lot of things. And in my personal experience and otherwise also, whenever two parties go to a police station, there'll always be one party which will not be satisfied with the action of the police. Suppose there are two brothers who have a dispute over property. They go to the police station that we had a fight with each other. And the police supports one brother, even if rightly. The other brother will say that the police has been wrong to me, very unfair to me. कुछ इन्होंने ऐसा कर लिया होगा, वैसा कर लिया होगा. Now you tell me, whenever a traffic constable who works tirelessly throughout the day, standing in heat, standing in polluted environments, even during the times of Corona, he tries to stop the traffic. You'll see a lot of us crossing the traffic light, jumping over all these signals. If somebody will stop that, sir, where is your helmet? He will say, तुम जानते नहीं मैं कौन हूँ? फोन लगाऊं उसको मैं बात कर रहा हूँ तुम्हारी उससे. If he tries to, fine you, कि 5 रुपए का फाइन आप पे लगेगा, he'll say, sir, 200 रुपए ले लो, मुझे छोड़ दो. Are we behaving as responsible citizens? So the police, it's a very difficult job. And apart from that, it's very unfortunate that the Indian film industry has often shown the police in very negative light. कि police कुछ करती नहीं, they're all, in cahoots with politicians, criminals, ये गलत है. अगर इतना ही कुछ होता, तो how's the country progressing? Whatever development that is taking place in this country right now, the police has a very, very major role to play in that. If you do not have law and order, you do not have a peaceful environment, how do you expect our country to become a global superpower in this century? So the police, all the policemen, right from the constabulary to the highest ranks, they work very hard. They make a lot of sacrifices, remain away from their families for months. And it's a very difficult job. You go to a police station, sit there for 2 hours, you'll realize what I'm talking about. Everybody else's problem becomes your problem. A girl elopes with her boyfriend. It might sound funny. It becomes a problem for the police. The father of the girl will say, please get my girl back. The girl will say, no, I want to marry this boy. I'm an adult. But the police force will have to go look for the girl, find out an amicable solution. And with such limited manpower, such limited resources, the police has to perform. And I would say that I'm very proud to be the part of the Indian Police Service, because whenever required, the Indian police has risen. And it has performed way beyond the expectations of the country. Look at the lockdown, the coronavirus lockdown. It was only because of the sustained efforts of policemen who did not even bother about contracting the infection, who kept standing, out in the sun to ensure that all of you are safe. So it is a wonderful service. People do not realize it. But just imagine our country without the police for just half an hour. What will happen? It will collapse. So I would say the police is a wonderful service, and police officers also get a lot of respect. It's not that they do not get respect. Of course, there are some black sheep in all departments. In our department also, there are certain people who do not live up to the expectations of the common people. I'm not trying to defend them, but there are a lot of people, unsung heroes, who lay their lives, who attain martyrdom for this country.
Thank you, sir, for addressing this disillusion. Here is the successive cue from the question. Question from the queue.
The following question has been put up by Samvati Jain from Sardar Patel Vidyalaya, New Delhi.
Hello, sir. It is my great honor to be in front of you today. I would like to know your 3 weaknesses and how you overcome them in your daily life. Thank you.
OMG, how can a multifaceted personality like you can have weaknesses? I'm really too much interested to know the answer to this question, sir.
Please tell Samriddhi that I'm very embarrassed to accept in front of all of you. I've got some major weaknesses right now. When I was young, when I was preparing for the UPSC, I overcame all my weaknesses. When I'm supposedly older, more mature, successful, I have a lot of weaknesses right now. Number one weakness right now is my addiction for mobile phones, which is very bad. It's terrible. I feel very, very, bad about it, but I want to get over it. It's something, I've developed an addiction for. But again, as I told you, the answer lies within me. I have to take a decision. Nobody else can solve this problem for me. Second weakness is food. I eat a lot. And I just can't resist eating good food. The moment I entered my house, my wife told me that you put on so much of weight. But this is one thing which I cannot leave.
आपकी हेल्थ को देख के तो नहीं लगता था।
सिंघवी साहब किस्मत अच्छी, खेलता बहुत हूँ ना, 2 घंटे 2.5 घंटे बच जाता हूँ, बट खाने का बहुत शौक है, बहुत ज्यादा। And the third one, I won't call it weakness. but I don't know. I have this tendency to constantly do something. I just can't sleep. I'm very restless. I'm otherwise at peace with myself. It's not that I want to prove something to someone else. I'm very cool, relaxed, but I want to keep on doing something or the other every minute of my life. That is a big problem, you know. Some people they are relaxed, but for me, you know, the moment this webinar is over, I'll go for tennis. Once I come back from tennis, I've already planned that I'll watch this movie. After the movie, I've taken out a book that I'll read this book. So I don't know if you call it a weakness or whatever, but I have to keep on doing something or the other every minute. So I can't sit idle even for 5 minutes. That's a big problem with me.
So you have astounding sense of humor.
But these
Let's move on.
weaknesses also, Varsha, I would say these weaknesses that Amit sir mentioned, they also make him so much more relatable, you know, to all the students and everybody who's listening. Our Facebook is being flooded with comments and questions, and we'll probably pepper in some questions here in as and when we get a chance. But I hope most of the viewers are getting their answers from the, you know, the questions that are being put up here. Thank you. Please carry on.
Let's move on to the next question.
The next question has been put up by Vidit Jain from GPS RK Puram, New Delhi.
Good evening, sir. I've heard a lot about your busy work schedule, and I was wondering, you have so many criminals and cases to deal with at once. How is it that you are able to complete it on time? Please share your views on time management. Thanks.
Samay Arora of Mahabir Public School, Jodhpur, has a similar question asking what do you do to maintain your composure while executing your tasks? This is a question of interest of everyone, as it has turned out to be difficult for today's youth to govern their clocks.
I read somewhere long time back that a busy man has time for everything. So this is something I can claim to be good at. I'm really good at time management. And as I told you, when I start my day on a positive note, see, I do not do any kind of meditation. I do not pray. Probably I'm a bad role model for all these things. But I start on a very positive note and I visualize my day. If I want to watch a film in the night, for example, that movie War was released last September. So I told my children that we'll go for that 9 o'clock show. And before that, I had to play tennis also with my son. So when you visualize something, I know it will sound very strange to you, but the day unfolds exactly the same manner. My work automatically finishes by 5:30. By 6, I'm at the tennis court. 6 to 8, you finish your tennis. You have a quick bite, go for the movie. Everything happens. Now I'll come for time management. First of all, you need to prioritize. You can't do all the tasks at the same time. You need to know what is important, what is not important, what can be delegated. Even as a youngster, you must know. Sometimes we keep wasting our time on very, inane things, mundane things, which do not require that much of time. In my office, I just do my office work quickly, very, very quickly, because I need to follow my schedule. Otherwise, I won't be able to follow my passions like music and sports and all these things. So in every file, I'm very clear what decision I have to take. I don't waste time. Don't go through the, bureaucratic procedure that I'll write on the file. The file will go down through 3 or 4 people, come back through 3 or 4 people again. I will straight away call the person, make a telephone call to him or call him to my office that what exactly is the issue. He'll explain to me and within 2 minutes, you can understand the problem. Even as a young SP, I always knew that I cannot solve all the problems of the district. So as I told you, I prioritized. Apart from that, I used to delegate, have faith in your subordinates. If you do not have faith in your subordinates, try to do everybody else's work, then you are a fool, If Mr. Singhvi at the seniority, he does everybody else's job, then what is the point of employing so many people under him? So you need to be very clear what is your job, where you need to step in.
Absolutely
so
right.
Learn that also. A lot of people, they micromanage. I do not micromanage, but I am very clear about what is my vision. I tell my team of officers that this is what I want. This is the time period you are given. And these are the results I expect from you. And of course, everything unfolds very beautifully. Everything happens very easily. And composure, yes, as I told you, you need to think very positively. आपको बार-बार लग रहा होगा मैं एक ही चीज बोले जा रहा हूँ, but this is a very, very important part. Half of the people in our country, they look older than their ages. Why? Because they always have stress in their life. See, once you're living a life, there is bound to be some problem in your life. Whether you're an IG, a police, a constable, the DG, the prime minister, you will have problems in your life. You must know how to deal with them. And problems आएगी तो उसके solutions भी आपको मिलेंगे. So somebody calls me that sir kidnapping हो गया या murder हो गया. I'm not one who will lose his sleep or start shouting the telephone कि कैसे हो गया क्या हो गया. I'm being paid to solve that problem as an IG police. मेरा काम ही यही है. अब वो जो चीज हो गई है, it has happened. Now my job as a police officer is listen to that problem, calmly find a solution. How do we go about it? A lot of unsavory things will keep happening in the country. It will happen. So what is our job? Listen to the problem, find a solution, and do our best. And ultimately, as I told you, results will come. Sometimes your results come in 3 days. Sometimes it takes 3 months. But results will come. And always remain cool. As a senior officer, if I lose my composure, start shouting at people, look tensed, you just imagine the kind of effect it will have on the 20,000 people I have under my command. They will all think that IG सब तो दिन भर tension में रहते, पता नहीं हमको भी tension में रहना पड़ेगा. But once they realize that IG is cool, relaxed, they will also be relaxed. They'll perform their job in a much better manner.
Sir, I'm sure your answer will be very beneficial for those who are not able to stick with their schedules. Now we have the next two questions based on the same theme. So I request to play the two videos successively.
My question to you is that if you could become a child once again, what is that one little thing that you would do at the school level itself to overcome your introverted behavior? I'm sure that it is going to be a big takeaway for us as students. Thank you.
The following question was put up by Ojassim, Mayo College, Ajmer. The next question will be put up by Navya Gupta from Modern School, Delhi.
Thank Presidency School to give us all this opportunity to interact with you live. We know your journey through college and how you fought with inferiority complex. These days, students are having identity-related issues and inferiority complex. What are your thoughts on this, and what suggestions would you like to give to facing self-doubt and low confidence? Thank you.
Experiencing inferiority complex or low self-esteem is very common these days in youth. So please throw some light on this, sir.
The first question asked me, the first person he asked me, what would I do if I revisit my childhood? I want to tell him that I always have a child alive in myself. I'm still living like a child, enjoying all the small things of life. As I told you, I enjoy food, enjoy watching films. As an IGO police, people assume that I'll be very serious and stiff in my life, but in my personal life, I enjoy all these small things, laughing at a joke, watching a comedy, all these kind of things. But what I would change, and answer to the second question also, I will give both the answers together, that you can't learn swimming by simply watching videos or by doing Google. You have to jump into the swimming pool. I told you I used to go to the swimming pool, hold the railings and come out. For 2 months, I did the same thing. And you can imagine how much of swimming I must have learned. All my friends, they learned swimming, but I was the only one who used to remain in the shallow end of the swimming pool. And then one day I realized that if I have to learn swimming, I have to go towards the deeper end of the pool. Of course, I knew some basics. ऐसा नहीं कि आप सीधे deep पे कूद जाइए. But then I went there, and once you're in the water, your body adapts. You automatically start moving your arms, your legs, and you want to survive. And I learned swimming just like that. 2 days later, when the coach saw me swimming in the deep end of the pool, he was, absolutely awestruck. तुम कब सीख लिया तुमने swimming? मैं कहा sir बस ऐसे ही मैं खुद ही कर लिया. So similarly about public speaking, if you want to go on the stage, you will have that right. Even the best of orators, I think even our Prime Minister must be having some kind of butterflies in his stomach. But once you go on the stage regularly, slowly it becomes a way of life. It becomes a part of you. Imagine Virat Kohli, when he goes to bat, it's not necessarily that he'll make a century every time, but he goes there with confidence, with a lot of practice, lot of hard work. People do not realize the kind of hard work these people make behind all these so-called successes. So once you practice hard, automatically it becomes a way of your life. You become successful. आपको पब्लिक स्पीकिंग करनी है, एक ही स्पीच को आप 10 बार प्रैक्टिस करिए, अपने घर में मिरर के सामने बोलिए, दोस्तों के सामने बोलिए, अपने फ्रेंड्स के सामने बोलिए, तो धीरे धीरे योर सबकॉन्शियस विल रजिस्टर ऑल दैट, एंड वंस यू गो ऑन द स्टेज, आप कितनी भी खराब परफॉर्मेंस करेंगे, इट विल बी बेटर देन व्हाट यू यूज्ड टू डू और used to do earlier. So, when you watch people like Federer, Nadal, I'm giving an example of sports again, the way they serve aces easily at will. I'm sure all of you know what is an ace in tennis, when they serve easily. Why? Because they practice for hours and hours, and ultimately it's reflected on the tennis court. So whatever you do, and inferiority, as I told you, it's just a state of the mind, because we believe that somebody else is better than you. Somebody else might be better than you. There will be people who are far better than you. But you live your own journey, believe in yourself, live your life. See, I have a passion for singing nowadays. Over the last 1 or 2 years, I started singing. I can never be a Kishore Kumar, but I can constantly improve my singing. So every time I sing, my friends tell me, अब तेरे को थोड़ा और झेल सकते हैं, अब तेरे को थोड़ा और झेल सकते हैं. So this is the way you learn. I'm never gonna be Kishore Kumar, but I'm enjoying this process. So always, embrace your fears, your failures, and enjoy the process. When you take part in the debating competition, there will always be somebody who's better than you. You might lose to him, but at least you enjoyed the process. You took part in that. So go ahead with all these kind of ideas, and I'm sure you'll get over a lot of your so-called inferiority complexes.
You are having number of hats.
Very insightful and optimistic answer, sir. Let's take up the next question.
The following question has been put up by Yatharth from Bombay Scottish School.
Please share with us today the major contributions made by your parents, wife, and children in making the person who you are now. Thank you.
Surely, family always acts as a backup support, isn't it, sir?
See, my parents gave me a very free childhood. I was lucky. I was nothing was forced upon me that I have to go to IIT, I have to become an IAS officer, IPS officer. As I told you, I was disastrous in IIT Delhi, but not once did my father say that your results are really bad. What will you do in your future? He just let me be. There were never any expectations that, you have to live our dreams. They always wanted to live my dreams. So they were always concerned as parents, but never helicopter parents that they are interfering every day in my life and, giving me tips and guidance every minute. I'm being the same. In fact, I'm totally cool. I'm the coolest parent around. My wife thinks that I'm a bad parent at times because I'm least bothered, apparently. But my children are having a wonderful life. They are growing up on their own, learning from their experiences, their so-called mistakes. Wife, of course, wife makes a huge difference. You ask any married man of this country, he will tell you that his wife has played a very important role because she's always right. And whenever when I feel my ego gets inflated that, my book has done so well, या मेरे को आज लोगों ने इतनी तारीफ की, she'll bring me back on terra firma, that इतना हवा में उड़ने की जरूरत नहीं है
धरती पे.
सिंघवी साहब बोलेंगे आप बहुत फिट हो रहे हैं, मेरी वाइफ will tell that बहुत मोटे हो गए आप. So that is a must to balance me. It's a must to balance me. And my children are like my friends. They are wonderful critiques. They feel very proud about my accomplishments, my achievements. But at the same time, they always, whenever I go overboard in anything, they always bring me back to reality. They said that Papa, आपको ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए था या इसकी जरूरत नहीं है. So I'm very blessed that I have a wonderful, wonderful family. And they are my pillars, my support, and that's it.
कितने बड़े हैं बच्चे?
My son is in 2nd year, and my daughter is in class 10.
Dear friends who have joined us on social media, we do see you sending many questions. I hope you would find many questions similar to yours being asked here. So I hope you are not disheartened. Taking up the next question.
The following question has been put up by Gauravi Bansal, Jayashree Periwal High School, Jaipur.
Respected sir, we are looking forward to see the web series and the movie based on your heroic life. But before that, I would like to ask you, what according to you are the ways other than Bollywood fame and a book to highlight the achievements of great people?
This is an engrossing question, sir.
Bollywood film or a book, these are not exactly ways to highlight somebody's, a great man's life. And, these are very ephemeral things. And there are so many great leaders and other people in this country whom will remember for centuries, on whom no book or movie has been made, but still we know about them. As a police officer, I can tell you that the best benchmark of your uh, life is the love and affection you get from the people around you. It can be your family, your friends, your employees, the public of that particular area. So, as an IPS officer, I've been very fortunate that wherever I've served till now, I've got a lot of love and affection from the people. Whenever I've been transferred, there have been thousands of people who have come to wish me, to see me off. There are people who have always remembered me. So that is the thing which I always cherish, which is more important for me than any book or Bollywood film. This is the real happiness. Somebody called me, he remembered a 19-year-old case today. He called me from Bihar and he said कि सर आपने मुझे पहचाना मैंने कहा बिल्कुल नहीं पहचाना मैं आपको कैसे पहचानूंगा आई डोंट नो बोला आपने सर तेरी मेरी तब हेल्प की थी आपने और फिर उसके बाद मुझे कोर्ट में बहुत लंबा मेरे को परेशानी हुई लेकिन आपकी जो रिपोर्ट थी उससे फाइनली मुझे आज जस्टिस मिला है तो आपका नंबर बड़ी मुश्किल से मैंने ढूंढा है इतने जनों को बोला है तब जाके मुझे आपका नंबर मिला है तो these are the kind of things which make you happy. This is much, much more important for me than any book or any Hollywood film.
Going forward, next question, please.
This question has been put up by Shivet Trikha from APJ School, Noida.
Good evening, sir. We are very curious to know, had you not taken IPS as your profession, which other career you would have pursued? Thank you.
This is a very fascinating question. We would really love to know this, sir.
ये मैंने कभी सच में सोचा ही नहीं, I never had any plan B in my life. Maybe I've been very lucky or very confident कि जो सोचा वो होना ही है. और as I told you, Yashish said जिंदगी में आप जो चाहते हैं वही होता है. तो I always wanted to become an IPS officer. मैंने कभी सोचा नहीं. अब आप बोल रहे हो तो मैं थोड़ी देर सोच रहा हूँ.
Very interesting.
Does that mean that you were clear right from the start? You were so focused?
Yeah, absolutely, Garima. Absolutely clear about what was going to be my. If you go through my school book, my IT yearbook, everywhere it's written very clearly that I want to become a civil servant and become an IPS officer. Very clearly.
Who was your inspiration to think like that?
No inspiration. I never look for heroes or somebody like that. But yes, I like to learn from a lot of people. It can be a legendary cricketer like MS Dhoni. It can be somebody like Akshay Kumar. It can be a common person, who has faced so many difficulties in his life, yet is living a very content, very happy life. Their examples are all around us. As I told you, I'm heading a force of 20,000 people right now. A lot of my constables have so many difficult problems, Their families are away from them. Somebody has got financial problems. Somebody's children are ill, but still is serving the nation with great commitment, great passion. So all these people, they inspire me.
Sir, I am also a good third divisioner in graduation and decided to do chartered accountancy, and then I did it.
देख लीजिए सर, आप example हैं ये सबके सामने.
So one quick cross question on that, if I may, Amit sir, that what is the kind of suggestion or guidance would you like to give to the current generation? Not many of us are as lucky as you who are so focused about what to do in life. So what would be that one piece of advice for students who may not know at this point what they want to do in future?
Garima, आपको मैंने पहले ही बताया, as I told you earlier also, that live your own life. Don't live by somebody else's aspirations, somebody else's dreams. It can be your parents, your relatives, your friends. You live your life by your rules, by what you want to do in life, what makes you happy. For somebody, it can be money. Then yes, go ahead. Make as much money as you want if it makes you happy. For somebody, it can be music. And today we are all lucky that there's so many options. You know, when I was young, when Mr. Singhvi was young, there were very limited options. हमारा टाइम था डॉक्टर इंजीनियर दो तीन चीजें थी अभी तो there are so many things. One of my cousins, he is a copywriter. I never knew there was a thing called copywriter. Somebody is an event planner and everybody is happy with his life. So there are a lot many options. But whatever you choose, first of all, do it out of your own volition. You know, it should give you happiness. It should make you feel like going to the office every day. If you're not happy at doing what you are doing, then what is the point of your life? Because you almost spend 8 hours every day working. If those 8 hours are not happy, not which do not enrich your life, then there's no point pursuing that vocation. So this is one. And secondly, as I told you earlier also, do not go by the yardsticks decided by the society that this is certain thing, this is success, this is not success. आप अपनी लाइफ लीड करिए आपको जो जो आपका पैशन है और जिस लेवल पे आप जा सकते डू योर बेस्ट everybody cannot be super successful or cannot be a legend but you can be your best and you can constantly evolve learn new things as an IGO police I'm learning a lot of new things apart from my policing so that gives me a high when I play tennis I do not know a lot of things my game on the net is really bad my son makes a lot of fun of me but I'm trying to learn and every day I'm improving. So life is a constant, it's a journey, beautiful journey, and we are all fortunate that we are getting opportunities to do what we wish, to pursue our careers, pursue our dreams. So just live a beautiful life and do not have any regrets later on that, I wish I could have done that or this. Live your life. That's all I can tell the youngsters of today.
Thank you so much. I think this answer certainly reaches out to the fan following base who's following the Presidency School Facebook page right now as we are live. And we have friends and people joining us from people, from Paris, from Melbourne, from all over. Comment sections getting flooded. But I think time is really a limiting factor. But perhaps if you permit, we can just have like last few questions which are left that maybe some of them we can kind of take up right now.
Surely on quickly. Let's have a quick.
Coming up is our next question.
The following question has been put up by Om Gupta from Pathshala Palace Center for Learning, Kanchipuram, Tamil Nadu.
My question is, why did you join the police services after doing engineering from IIT Delhi?
Really a conceptual question, sir.
Om, that's a very pertinent question. I always wanted to be a police officer. Or IIT, though, it will sound really silly. As I told you, I was good in academics in my school. Till 11th standard, I did not know what IIT was because my father is a doctor and we did not have any engineers in my house. I saw a lot of my classmates preparing for IIT, reading all those books of maths and physics, high-level maths and physics. So, you can call it stupidity, simply ego. I used to think that अगर ये लोग इसकी पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं तो I'm far better than them. तो मैं तो ये कर ही लूँगा, ये वाला exam crack कर ही लूँगा. It was not my ambition, not my passion. So just because purely out of competition with those people, I appeared for the IIT exam, got selected in the first attempt. And the day I reached IIT, I realized I've come to the wrong place. I think I was cut up for Delhi University. I should have gone to St. Stephen's or Hindu. But I went to IIT. I have no regrets of going to IIT because IIT definitely molded my character, my personality. It's one of the finest institutions in the world. I'm very lucky to have that IIT stamp. But I did not pursue academics in IIT. So I did not let my son do the same mistake. He is living his life. He is very happy with what he's doing right now, political science. I do not understand anything of political science, but I see that he is very interested. He enjoys reading the material, the books of political science. I never enjoyed reading engineering and IIT. But yes, IPS was my dream. I'm very happy every moment of living as an IPS officer. So this is what I was born for. And I'm very, very lucky, very fortunate that I'm living my dreams right now.
You have astounding clarity, sir. I request to play the next two videos consecutively as both the questions are based on same theme.
With a few internet sources, we know that you are a music lover. Which is your all-time favorite song? Also, so what was your favorite subject while you were a student at school?
This question was put up by Rashtriy Prashar from Presidency School.
Favorite
The
songs?
next question. The next question is by Lavya Jetli from Somerville School, Vasundhara Enclave, Delhi.
As you are interested in singing too, which is your favorite song and why? Thank you.
Both are similar questions. I think that's why I played together.
See, music is a great stress buster, and you don't really require any equipment, anything for music. You just hum whenever in some kind of a depressing mood or whatever, or you're very happy. So music is a lovely thing, and I think everybody should sing, whether he's a good singer or bad singer. Sing for yourself. So Kishore Kumar is my all-time favorite. I love every single song of Kishore Kumar because I love his voice. I really love his voice. And every song which he sung, I really love it because it's very natural. He's an amazing singer. So कोई ऐसा particular song नहीं, मेरा कोई favorite ऐसा कोई song नहीं. But I like music.
So we thought we'll hear you hum some song right now. So maybe anything that's coming to your mind. Your chair is moving with the beat, so I know there's something in your mind for sure.
नहीं, chair तो generally move कर रही है, and I'll just try to hum a few lines. Please don't laugh. हसीना से यूं मुलाकात हो गई, फिर क्या हुआ ये ना पूछो, कुछ ऐसी बात हो गई. I think that's enough.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you so much.
I'm sure, sir, all our viewers loved it. Moving on to the next question.
First of all, we're very grateful to have you as a chief guest on the occasion of Independence Day. You're also credited for launching the organization Sambhav, aimed at tapping the power of the youth towards community development. Sir, I wanted to ask you that how can youth empowerment help in declining the crime rate?
As we are aware that the crime rate is increasing, so please guide us how you can empower in declining the rates, sir.
That's a very pertinent question. When I joined Bihar, and as I told you during those days, it was a very difficult time for Bihar police. Resources are limited, manpower was very limited. So the best thing for me was to channelize the power of the youth. I was a very young SP that time, and I realized that the youth used to look forward to meeting me. They had great expectations from me, and I was kind of a role model for them. So I just simply, whenever there was a major law and order problem in our district, or there was a procession, there was some kind of a communal disharmony, I would just call my young friends, all these college students, give them I cards issued by the police, give them a badge of the police, and ask them that you just stand with the police and support us. So they helped us a lot in traffic management, giving us information about criminals, crime, helping accident victims. There's so many things which we did during those days, and I called this organization called Sambhav. Sambhav means it's always possible. And if you give a responsibility to the youngsters, I give a power to you, so-called power or responsibility to all of you. I'm sure that you will live up to my expectations. You'll definitely do your best. So that was the best way to channelize their energy. The people who used to create trouble earlier, they only became supporters of the police because now I gave them responsibility. They used to feel responsible. Once they put on the badge of Sambhav or Police Mitra, they used to feel very empowered. So this is very simple idea, very simple innovation, but it helped me a lot.
So the country is definitely appreciating your initiative, Sambhav, and the idea of educating the juvenile delinquents. So it's really encouraging. We would just move on to our next question.
My question is, do you believe in stopping the crime or changing criminals' mind? Thank you.
It's a very tricky and interesting question.
See, I believe in stopping a crime, and whenever there's an organized crime, it's much easier to stop it. For example, kidnapping for ransom. You know that there are certain groups who do all these kind of things, extortionists. Then you can find out the name of the gang members, use technology, mobile phones, a lot of things, your informers, and get hold of them. And definitely it puts a stop to the crime. I used to always go after the kingpin, the main man of that gang. The small fries will obviously fall in place later on. But about thinking of changing a criminal's mind, it's not an easy thing. For that, the most important thing is education. If you're educated, I think a lot of problems get solved. And I'm talking about education, not literacy. There's a big difference. There can be many literate people having high degrees, but they will swindle people of their money. And we keep reading about people who have siphoned off crores of rupees, gone abroad, and then the government of India, the CBI is looking for them. They are very literate, but they're not educated in the true sense. Education for me is, imbibing the right cultural values, a code of ethics, set of principles. And for that, the role of teachers and parents is very important. When you educate somebody in the true sense, you educate a boy when he's very young that, you have to respect women. He will learn to respect women. Once he sees this happening in his own family, that his mother is being respected, his sister is being respected, he will naturally grow up into a man who is also respectful towards women and girls. So this is the way you learn things. So people often talk about rapes and so many atrocities which are committed against women, against girls. So, I'll be very frank with you. You will debate, but I'll be honest with you. These are the crimes which the police cannot exactly stop, because these crimes emanate from somebody's thinking, from somebody's mindset. The police, of course, can arrest these people later on. The Nirbhaya gang rape, which was one of the most dastardly crimes that has ever taken place in this country. Those four people, they simply had this idea that a girl is there alone in the bus, we have to do something wrong with her. So the police later on, of course, arrested all of them, got them convicted, but could not have controlled their crime at that point of time. But if those people were well brought up, properly educated, I'm sure that this thing would have never crossed their minds. So education in the true sense is really required in our country, where our youngsters, they evolve into responsible citizens. Education, as I talked to you about education, about keeping the country clean, learning to throw the litter in dustbin, very small things. But if these things are learned, a lot of other things automatically take care of themselves.
I think
So you're going to start.
Varsha, just 1 minute. Last but not the least, I think I would like to ask a question as well before all the question answers get over. They are from our team. One is
Yeah.
Very quickly, I think last two questions, I think from our team members, our faculty members actually. One of them is that how you just spoke about having a large team and big commandment you have who you're kind of leading. So how do you keep all your team members motivated at all times?
I have to set an example. I do not expect anything from my men which I personally do not do or cannot do. If I do not have a high set of principles or ethics, I cannot expect my men to follow the same. And similarly, in terms of fitness, if I expect my men to stand on guard for 8 hours and I can't do the same thing, there's no point, expecting it from them. And I'm always ears to them, listen to their problems, their personal problems also, give them respect. Only then can I expect them to respect me or listen to my commands. I'm very approachable. I listen to the problem. Somebody is overstayed from leave. It's not that, the moment he comes, I fire him, shout at him. I'll ask him, why were you late? And of course, if he has a very valid reason, which many times happens, that his wife was genuinely ill, he had some problems at home, of course I will overlook that. So once my juniors know that their boss is, you know, open to their problems, open to their suggestions, appreciative of their good work, I also appreciate my men a lot. If I don't say that, well done, then what is the motivation they will have? They have to be appreciated. These are small things, and this all goes in leadership qualities. So a lot of things, and my men are very, very motivated always, and I make them happy in, by small things. For example, in Bihar, if my team arrested a criminal, then I'll have a surprise party for all of them, or have a special movie show for them. You never expect the policemen to have all these kind of things. But if you take them out, chalo, aaj SP साहब आपको dinner पे ले गए, you can imagine the kind of happiness they have. Otherwise, photo एक है, मतलब SP ने अपनी photo खिंचवा ली, 4 लोगों का नाम ही नहीं बताया that who were the real people who went and arrested those people. Then you can never expect the juniors to lay their lives for you. So this is the way I motivated my jawans. A lot of things. I think next time Garima will talk about all these things.
Sure. And lastly and quickly, I think your Bollywood connection is really of much interest to many. So one of our teachers also asked that Mr. Akshay Kumar is a good friend. What are the commonalities that you and he share?
I think a lot of common things. लगेगा आपको अपनी, तो मैं अक्षय की तारीफ कर देता हूँ, मेरी तारीफ अपने आप समझ लेना. So Akshay doesn't take himself seriously. He takes his work seriously. I do the same thing. Akshay has an aura of a superstar, but otherwise he's the most laid-back person I know. Very cool, very relaxed. He's very natural. Whatever he is. And he enjoys life, which I do. And only thing is that he's disciplined. I'm not. I sleep at 3 in the morning. He wakes up at 4. That is the difference we have. Both of us are into fitness sports. Both of us share a lot of jokes. We are, cool about our work. I've always seen him relaxed at on the sets. And the biggest factor which binds us together is our passion for the nation. Akshay and I have started a website called bharatkv.gov.in. I'm sure you must be aware of it. It is a website through which you can, contribute to the sacrifices, the martyrs of this nation, martyrs of all the Central Armed Police Forces. And you'll be very happy to know, Garima, that till now we have raised more than 300 crore rupees for the martyrs of our Central Armed Police Forces. So both of us are very passionate about this cause. And this is the biggest factor which puts us together, Akshay and I. Apart from that, as I said, a lot of other common interests.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
When the movie is expected to come?
अब भी कोरोना वायरस के टाइम थोड़ा सा डिले हो गया, but I'm very hopeful that we'll make a major announcement very soon. It is going to be a big thing. Singhvi sir, you'll be very happy. It is going to be a big thing. It's not going to be a small film or a small web series. It's going to be.
Hero is Akshay. Who is the heroine?
I'm also interested in the heroine's role only. Let's see. Somebody good looking, because I think my wife is very beautiful, very pretty. So let's see.
We can't wait. Thank you very much. Varsha?
Yes, ma'am. So we had numerous questions sent to us by different schools and our school students. So since we are running short of time, we won't be able to take up all the questions, but I would like to acknowledge them. Uday Singh Yadav, Granth Gurdesini, Vidhi Singhvi, Tanmay Mehra, Gautam Gupta, and Ridhima Gaur. So we all are so motivated, and we did not want this session to end, but as they say, all good things come to an end. So thank you so much for your great insight and most worthful answers. Your zeal, enthusiasm, and vigor will continue to inspire us.
Elma, if you want 2 more questions, if he agrees.
Singhvi sir, फिर अपन फिर करते हैं next time.
I think we have overshot. Thank you so much.
I'll miss my tennis totally. There are people waiting for me.
And that's something Amit ji loves. So we do not want to take him away from that. I
Thank
think
you so
we're
much.
really
Thank you so
fortunate.
This today's talk has definitely created more and more excitement in our children that now they would like to have face-to-face meeting with you and get motivated and inspired. I think whenever it is convenient, we want one visit to the school.
Absolutely. Anytime you say, I'll come, surely.
On behalf of our fellow students, all I can ask for is, dear Amit sir, can you please visit us once our school reopens after the pandemic is over?
Surely.
Thank you, dear students, for contributing your questions and seeking answers with so much interest.
Thank you.
With pride and joy, I would now request our dearest director, Ma'am Garima Singhvi, to share a vote of thanks on behalf of all of us.
I think saying thank you to Amit ji would be too small a token of appreciation and for the inspiration that he's leaving us with today evening. I would say that we feel humbled in your presence and the presence of such a nation builder who every Indian is really proud of. You spared your precious time on a Sunday and also delayed your tennis match for us, for all the students, parents, and teachers. Thank you so very much. Your presence has been enlightening and heartwarming. We look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining and being with us in all spirit and enthusiasm. Special thanks to all students, teachers, and principals who have joined us today from all over the country.
Let's continue on this path of creating inspiration for each other. Please take care of yourselves.
Till then, stay safe until we meet again.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks to all. Thanks to both the MCs. Wonderful job. Both of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Great.
And
great.
thank you so much to the team. We are working
Thanks
together.
to Martina. Thanks to the team. Wonderful job and really remarkable. And how much is the attendance? Can anybody
Big
say?
round of applause. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Let's close. Thank you.
Can we have how many participants there?
Yes. After just 2 minutes, please wait. Let's go ahead.
Thanks, Varsha. Thanks, Gangotri.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.